Hello readers, it's Sasha and it's freezing. Today I'm going to be filming my introduction and hopefully maybe potentially conclusion to my Dark Academia Amazon made me read compared to the book that I hate the most on this planet reading vlog, I think. So essentially what I wanted to do with this was I wanted to take The Secret History, my least favorite book of all time, so sorry to everybody who loves it, I hated it, and I put it into Amazon, and then I used the books that Amazon would be like
frequently bought together.
And so I did that, and I got 3 books to read, and I'm looking forward to sharing this vlog experience with you guys. So the first book I got was The Atlas 6 by Olivier, and this is about 6 students, and they have these powers that they're like elemental powers essentially. They deal with different elements in the world, and they are chosen to go to this super elite school and study, and then one of them gets eliminated. And that's essentially what it is. There's nothing really else to it. Very similar to The Secret History in the, elite students and all this jazzy jazz type stuff. So that's exciting. And then I got A Little Life by Hanya Yagihara or Yagamara. I'm so sorry. So this was one that I've heard a lot of controversy around just because the person who wrote it is not a gay man, and she seemed to have been triumphing off of this book where gay men are like really struggling and the depiction is really horrible. And people had a lot of criticism about that, which is totally valid. So I'm going into this with minimal expectations. I know a lot of people really love it. A lot of people find it to like change them after reading it because it's just so sad. I am interested to see where I fit, but like I'm going into this with extremely low expectations. And the third book I got was If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, which is essentially just a book about, again, a group of elite students who are at this very prestigious arts school, and they are the theater students, and then there is a murder, and it's just a wild time. So those are the 3 books. 2 of the 3 sound very, very similar to The Secret History. So to say that I went into this with low expectations, that's an understatement. Like my expectations were like the lowest they could possibly be low. But as you will see, there may or may not have been some surprises. So I'm very interested and excited to share this vlog with you. I've worked really hard on it, so I hope you guys love it. And I will see you guys in my first update. Bye! It's been so long since I've vlogged like this. I don't even know like how to do this thing. What is this coloring? Hate that. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna start the Atlas 6 today, I feel like, at some point while I'm at work. I obviously don't have high hopes for this, just given the nature of this video. I do feel like this is gonna be like not it. However, I will say that it does sound kind of interesting. To be honest though, the plot, like I don't actually understand the summary on the back of the book / Goodreads. I don't really understand what it's about. I know it's Dark Academia because obviously, but I genuinely don't know what this is about. Like there's fantasy elements and there are some pretty cool like powers, but overall like I don't know. So I'm gonna start this probably at some point. I do have some pre-cal questions to work on before I start this, so if it's super busy at work today, I might not start today, but I just kind of wanted to give like a heads up that this is a potential for today, so we'll see what happens. But I obviously don't have the highest of hopes, but I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised. Maybe Dark Academia is my thing and Donna Tartt just is not. Maybe. We'll see. I'm doing an entire video dedicated not even to Dark Academia because A Little Life is not Dark Academia, I don't think. It's just what Amazon recommended, so I'm just here vibing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I'm not looking forward to this emotionally and mentally and physically, but we'll see what happens. So I'll update you guys at some points. I feel like 50% of the way through, but also I do feel like maybe if I'm like really hating my time, I might show you guys a little bit of a sneak peek as to why the fuck I hate my life. So let's see, but we'll see how this goes. Bye. I would like to share with you how much I hate men, like a lot. So I was at work tonight where I've worked, literally it's my 1-year anniversary today, and I didn't get any reading done, by the way. This is kind of busy, and I was practicing some pre-cal questions, so yeah. But anyway, I was there, I was getting some insulin syringes for a person because I do work at a vet clinic and their cat had insulin that they needed. So while one of our doctors was preparing the prescription, I was going to get the needles, and there's a difference between insulin needles, and he literally looked at me dead ass. Like, he's been there my entire time I've worked there. He looked at me and he was like, you got the right needles, right? And I was like, yeah, of course. And he was like, so you know the difference between a U100 and a U40? I was like, yeah. It literally says U100 or U40, but like, okay, go off, I guess. This doctor has always like hated me for some reason, or he seems like he hates me for whatever reason, but that was just like the icing on the goddamn cake, because I'm so sick of men like looking down on me and thinking I'm dumb. Like, that is literally what I lived with my entire life, where I was raised, and in the situation and the church that I was raised in, like, every man was like superior and smarter, and they always acted like it. Like, that just pissed me off so much. Like, and he doesn't do this to any other receptionist, he only does this to me. So thanks, I guess. I'm literally like the only receptionist who's going to school for something. I'm like a fairly smart person. Not saying all my other receptionists aren't. Like, they're incredibly smart and I love all of them. But like, come on, like, you don't get to treat me like this for whatever reason. And I'm pretty sure it's because I'm plus size, because that is how he seems to be as an individual. Like, ever since I started, like, he literally will like the people who can't do shit over me. So I love that. I'll update you guys later. I just needed to tell you that fucking story. Bye. You might be asking, Sasha, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing with your life? And that is a good question, because at this point, I don't know. Like, genuinely speaking, I think if you've been here with me over the summer, you've seen my situation with my lovely darling Pepper, who was featured a little bit earlier in this video, and how sick he was, and how horrifying it was, and how awful the situation was. So that hasn't changed. Well, like, it has changed. He's gotten better. We're still, you know, keeping a really close eye on him, but as a whole, like, he's definitely improved, which is great. So my dumbass was like, do you know what I need now? I need another one. So I'm on my work break going to buy a collar, because I have now adopted another kitten that was brought in to our clinic because one of our vets, like, her friend had a cat that had kittens, and so she didn't want them. So I said I would take one. There were 3, and like, a part of me feels a little bit bad about just the one, but I can't take more. So I'm getting a new cat, essentially. She's 8 weeks old. She's black and white, just like Pepper, except she's long haired. We're naming her Plum. Because why the fuck aren't we? I don't really know why I'm doing this. Like, it was a very spur of the moment decision, and if it doesn't work out, then we will be bringing her back, because I don't want to put any more stress on Peaches. So we're just gonna kind of see, you know, how Peaches handles having another kitten, how Pepper handles having another kitten. I think it's going to work out, because Pepper will have a playmate his age, and, you know, therefore Plum will also have a playmate around her age, and so they will be able to kind of bother each other as opposed to bothering Peaches. Peaches can kind of just continue to be like the old lady like, and not worry so much about having Pepper constantly nagging. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not anticipating negative results from this. I'm thinking it's gonna be kind of cool. I think it's gonna be, I don't know, I'm very impulsive, but that is who I am, and so I feel like we need to accept that. There has been no reading. I think I might have read a chapter. Well, I read 50 pages on one night, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a break, I'm gonna go to bed. And then I had so much time to read today, and I simply didn't read anything because I was catching up on BookTube, and then I was like scheduling a video for myself to upload, and I just was like, fuck it, like, it's fine, like, I don't really need to do this. Well, here we are. So yeah, in terms of how the book is going, I'm actually pleasantly surprised as of now, I guess I should say. I really like it. I think it's good. So far, I don't have much to say about it. Like, it's still sitting like really high in my good books right now. It's interesting. I like it because it's kind of like a dark academia fantasy competition element. So no. So it's not like just dark academia, like contemporary or literary fiction. It has like the work, so it has like fantasy, it has magic, it has a competition, it has a magic school. So it's definitely like more up my alley than like, for example, The Secret History, which is what I'm basing this off of. So I'm pretty happy with it so far, but like I really liked The Secret History at first as well. I thought it was really good. I thought, like, the writing, I like the type of writing that is used in dark academia. That's what I'm learning. Like, it's a bit like pretentious and mysterious. I really like that type of writing. However, I find myself struggling with the stories themselves. So I'm hoping that this one is like my first dark academia that I'm really in love with and that really resonates with me, but we shall see. So I think I'm just gonna update you guys when I am finished. Well, not when I'm finished, like, I'll update you guys with Plum, like, updates, and we'll see how that journey goes. Hopefully it'll work out, but if it doesn't, then she'll be like a foster until she can find a different home. But we're, like, right now we're planning on adopting her, so yeah, I will keep you guys posted. We'll see what happens, and I will update you guys when I actually have a legitimate update for the actual book for the purpose of this vlog. So that's great. Anyways, yeah, I'll check in with y'all later. Bye. This is what they said in the book. They said they're a bunch of blood-sucking Nova Scotian leeches. Like, I'm sorry, who hurt you from this province? Because we have like 6 people. So what happened? Like, are we good? Like, what the fuck? So I figured, why not do a little reading update right now? I'm about 25% of the way through the Atlas 6 by a person I think named Olivia. I really don't know. I actually really like it. Like, I wasn't expecting to like it a lot, but I kind of am. I'm a little confused about, like, the magic system as a whole. Like, this is more of like an urban fantasy setting type situation, but I don't really understand it. Urban fantasy has never really made a whole lot of sense to me other than the mortal instruments and, like, the dark artifices and infernal, you know, all that stuff. So this is a little bit of a challenge for myself. However, I'm liking it. The characters are interesting. Also, it's weird. Like, it's very similar to The Secret History. Like, it's literally very similar. Like, there is a very elite group of adults / recent graduates of college, I guess adults, but still baby. And they are part of this new society and they are competing, and it's very elite, and it's very, like, it's a very small, intimate group of people. And then there is one leader and one, like, kind of like teacher person. So it's very similar. However, this does have, like, the fantasy and, like, almost like a competition element to it, which I really like. And there's also a lot more action as well. Like, there's, like, right now we're kind of just, like, in the middle of, like, somebody's trying to break into the, like, the society, and so, like, they're trying to defend themselves, and, like, it's really interesting, that part of it. There's only just, like, really one thing that's bothering me so far, and it's just that one of the characters can speak to his best friend, like, in his head through different realms. Like, his best friend isn't, like, a human or, like, a median is what they're called, and they keep speaking to each other in, like, random, like, French and English and Spanish, and it's just like, I don't understand the point of that, but other than that, like, it's completely fine. But I thought I'd just give an update because I'm really loving it, and it's kind of sitting at a 5-star right now, but obviously I'm only 25% of the way through, so that can easily change. But expectation wise, this is definitely exceeding what I was expecting, so I'm really thankful for that. So I'm just planning on continuing reading a little bit now, and I don't know what else tonight, but I love spending time with my new kitty. This is Plum. I don't know if I've actually introduced her yet, but this is Plum. Yeah, okay, bye. Who wants to see a mini book haul? Noah and I went to Chapters and we went to Value Village today, and we got a couple of really neat books, so I'm gonna share those with you. The first thing I found, well, I guess Noah found it, a vet medicine textbook, and this is at Value Village for $5.99, and it is a very large textbook, and it is obviously very out of date, but I feel like anatomy doesn't change, so this is definitely something that's helpful if I choose to go into the vet medicine route, which is what I'm leaning on right now. So that's super exciting. Love that. Hi, Pep. Oh. The next thing I ended up finding was Pieces of You by Karen Slaughter. I don't know anything about this. All I know is that every time I see a Karen Slaughter book, I usually will pick it up. One of these days, I'll read one of them, but I'll have like 4. So I have a lot to choose from. Next, I ended up finding Replica by Lauren Oliver. I really loved Lauren Oliver's Before I Fall. This doesn't have like as amazing ratings. However, I'm still looking forward to reading it. I find that she's a really interesting writer. This is really chunky. I've never even heard of this book, so I'm really interested to pick it up. Next, I ended up finding The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. I have a Patrick Ness book that I didn't love. I think it was a little bit too obscure for my taste. I don't know. But this is something that's a bit more up my alley as far as I know. There are like people who are magic and they live with like regular people, but the regular people are just kind of like existing because everyone with magic is considered more powerful. In not super great condition, I ended up finding The Widow by Fiona Barton. This just sounded really interesting. I love adult domestic thrillers. I think that's what it is. Psychological thriller. I don't know. I just like adult thrillers, so I picked this one up. It looks good. And last book I found at Valley Village, oh my god, we're almost done, is a real find, The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I'm really excited about this. This is something I've had on my radar for a very long time. I'm really looking forward to reading it, and I found it today for $4.99. So, hi. Next, we went to chapters, and I didn't have any real goal for chapters other than to purchase the Winer's Book Club pick for my month, which is The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. I guess I'll show that one first. The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. Yeah, I didn't really have any other goal other than to pick this up. However, I was just kind of going and picking up books that looked interesting, books that I've heard of that maybe I really wanted to read but didn't have an excuse to buy. So I ended up picking up a couple other things as well. So the first of those is Dark and Shallow Lies. This I definitely have heard about. However, it was the cover that really drew me in today. I was kind of on a cover spree buying thing, and yeah, the cover just really intrigued me for this, so I had to pick this one. Then I ended up picking up this copy of The Diviners because I absolutely love this cover of The Diviners, but I'm never able to find it. I found it today. I decided to pick it up because this is just infinitely better than the other ones, I find. Like, these ones are so sexy, and this is how the series continued anyway, so I might as well just have all of them. Then I ended up picking up A Dark and Starless Forest. The only real reason I picked this up was there was a plus-size main character on the cover, and we all know that I'm a big fan of that on this channel. I know this is fantasy. There might be a bit of magical realism. I'm not totally sure. Might be a bit of dystopia. Again, not totally sure. But just having this plus-size main character really sealed the deal. Licked the envelope, if you will. And then finally, we got a book. Hold on. This is a big boy.
5 minutes later.
I surprised the heck out of Noah when he was holding up this book, and I was like, oh, is it House of Leaves? And he was like, how do you know what that is? Well, obviously, I've seen it going around on this platform, and I kind of wanted to read a little bit. This is very intimidating. Wow. So those are all the books we got today. We also got a couple things for Pepper. And our new kitty, Plum, she's 8 weeks old. She is a long-haired cat. I'm pretty sure she almost killed Noah because Noah's allergic, but he's actually, like, he's fine. But, like, the first night, I'm pretty sure his throat was closing over, but, like, it's whatever. She's very cute. She's lovable. She's kind. She plays with Pepper, but growls at him through, like, the door. So, I don't know, mixed signals up in here. And Peaches is kind of left alone when Pepper's busy with her. That was such good timing. Wow. Pepper went after Peaches.
Okay, let's break this up. Come on.
Yeah, that's pretty much our life. So we got a playmate for Pepper, and it's kind of working, but she's still kind of isolating in the bathroom and the bedroom because she just needs a little bit of time. It's very overwhelming. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say for now. I'm almost 50% of the way through the Atlas 6. Again, still really liking it. I still find it has a lot more action and a lot more excitement, and maybe it is because this is a lot to do with science and kind of breaking the bounds of physical laws, and I'm interested in science now, so I feel like that is more my cup of tea than freaking The Secret History. But there is always potential for this to end badly, but as of right now, I'm actually really liking it. So I feel like we're off to a better start because I know 50% of the way through The Secret History, I wanted to actively die. So this is much better already. But I feel like I started really well with this vlog, and I don't think I'm going to have a good experiences with the other two. So yeah, let's just continue on, and I'll update you guys probably when I'm 75% of the way through because I'm like 46% now, so I feel like there's no point updating you in 4%. So I'll see you guys later. Bye. don't know why, but I seem to have neglected to mention that I actually made it 75% of the way through the Atlas 6. I love this book. Like, I genuinely do. I think it's a really, really good book. But it's taken me a long time to read because it is quite a dense book. And there have been a couple more flaws that I find with the story as I continue on with it. For example, like, they're very, how do I say this? Like, in a nice way. I find their talk to be very pretentious. And I think that is just like a dark academia thing where they all talk like very prestigious and pretentious. And that's fine. It's just not particularly my cup of tea. But overall, like, I think this is a much more well-rounded story than The Secret History. And I'm very glad that I chose to read it first. So yeah, I'm sorry that it took me so long to update. However, here we are. So I will update you guys when I'm finished. I'm planning on reading a little bit now, but for the most part, I'll probably finish sometime this weekend, but it's taken me a long time to read this because I have a lot of schoolwork and just a lot of life stuff, and I'm working full time, so it's crazy. Okay, bye. I'm done. It is finished. I have finally finished the Atlas 6. It only took me like 2 freaking weeks, but it's done. I'm actually giving this a 4 stars, which I am incredibly shocked about. I really just, I liked this book. It was interesting. It kept me engaged. I kept wanting to read more. It was just very dense, like I said in the last clip, which is why I struggled for reading it for so long, just because I had so much else going on. But oh my god, like, this was actually really good. And it ended in a way that I was just like, I was kind of shook. So I know the second book has been like in publication, I think, and it's supposed to be published in 2022, but there's still not even a cover or anything. So I guess we'll see if that is actually a thing, but I really do want to read a second book because the way that it ended kind of had me feeling things. So I'm definitely interested in the second book. But yeah, 4 stars all around. I did just have a couple of things. You know, there were a lot of typos in the ebook, which is a huge pet peeve of mine. And it really takes you out of the story, at least for me. And I also found they kept jumping through time. Sorry, somebody was right in front of me. They kept jumping through time in the chapters, be like, yeah, this happened. And 4 weeks later, blah, 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 blah. And you kind of just need a minute to like gather yourself. And I didn't have that. And so that was a little bit difficult for me, but overall loved it. Really enjoyed this book. I would definitely recommend it to people who liked The Secret History, but who also like fantastical elements. And I just overall really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that the second book comes out, but I'm also like, I know I'm not going to enjoy A Little Life, which is what I'm reading next. Like, I'm not going to enjoy it because it's like not great, but I'm hoping that I still like the writing and stuff like that. But like overall, I'm not going to fucking like the book. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just like, it's really sad apparently. So yeah, anyways, I have to go into work. I will see y'all in my next update. I'm actually not reading A Little Life next. I'm reading the Winer's Book Club pick, Payback's a Witch by Alana Harper. So I'm reading that next. So that won't be included in this vlog, but I will definitely update you when I start A Little Life. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. So I started A Little Life and I am not gonna finish it, so that's cool. Love that for me. So the reason I'm choosing not to finish this book, I feel it putting me in a reading slump. Like reading it makes me want to like die. So I feel it putting me in a slump that I just don't want to be in right now. I want to read. I have a lot of fun ideas for videos and stuff, and I don't want to be in a place where I just don't feel like reading at all. And I also just am not a fan of like any characters. I'm only 25 pages in, which out of like 75, so it's only like 3% of the way in, but or 7,500, no, 700 and something. Oh my god. I'm only like 3% of the way in, but I realized that this is actively putting me in a slump. I'm not vibing with anything about the story thus far. I find the characters to be, you know, unremarkable. They all seem the same. Like there's no really distinction between any of them. And I'm almost 100% certain that that is going to change. I am like 100% certain that, you know, as the story progresses, we would start to see the differences in characters, because I don't think this book would have such incredible ratings if there were just absolutely no distinctions between any characters, because there's really not right now. But regardless of that, I'm not vibing with the story. I'm not vibing with the situation. I just want something different. So I'm gonna see if maybe I can add another book into this, or I'm just gonna say fuck it and just read the 2, and because I have a lot of content for it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I just feel like I needed to let you know that is just not how it needs to work. Like, it's just not my thing. So yeah, I would definitely just not advise reading it if you're not in the space to read. Like, nothing actively bad has happened thus far. I know it would destroy me. Like, if I kept reading, it would destroy me, but I don't know. It's just something about it. It's just slumpy. So I don't feel like reading it. Don't feel like finishing it. Have no intention to do that at all. But yeah, so that's that. I don't plan on starting If We Were Villains tonight. I don't actually know what I'm going to read next. I'm going to be finishing Payback's a Witch, but I don't know. I don't know what else I'm going to read before. I might start If We Were Villains and just have this video like be done, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. But yeah, Payback's a Witch is what I'm going to read right now. I'm just getting my lunch after a dentist appointment, so my teeth look so good. Yeah, I will see you guys in my next update. Bye. So I am about to start If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, I think it is. I don't know how I'm gonna feel with this. I have not found a Shakespeare story that I like or that gives me like anything other than like above 3 stars. And I already DNF'd the last book for this, and I had a 3-star book for my last book that I read. So I'd really like to have a good book. Like, I would really like to do that and read like a good solid book, but I just don't think that's gonna happen with this. Yeah, so I'm interested to see how this plays out. I'm looking forward to starting it, and it's got an interesting premise, so I'm hopeful at least. But I'll definitely update you guys 25% of the way through, like at quarters, like I've been doing for these books. But yeah, I will just, little life update. Mr. Pepperman got neutered. When did you get neutered? Got neutered on Tuesday. Got neutered on Tuesday, and he does not like his cone, but he's really amazing and cute and such a good boy, and I love him with my whole heart. So yeah, that's kind of the only update I have. I am on reading week this week from school, so I have time to catch up on some studying stuffs, and I'm super pumped about that. But otherwise, having a pretty chill week, so I'm looking forward to it, and I will see you guys in my next update. Bye. I think it's pretty obvious that I'm talking to myself in my car because I'm 25% of the way through If We Were Villains, and my initial thoughts were pretty bad because I was like, okay, this is Shakespeare. I've literally never read a Shakespeare that I like, and I just, didn't have very high expectations. And as I started it, the similarities between this and The Secret History are just insane. There is a group of college students that are in this very elite college of the arts this time, as opposed to like Greek philosophy or something, whatever that other group was in. Literally one of the main characters is named Richard. I was like not mentally prepared for that. And yeah, the similarities are just insane, except our main character starts off in prison in this book, and we kind of figure out the events that kind of led him there. I like this book a lot. I guess that's a very roundabout way of saying I really like this book. It's interesting. It keeps my attention. It has me constantly wanting to know what led him to prison, like what happened. I like the characters, even though they're not all likable characters. I think they're well written, and they all add something unique to the story. They all have unique voices, as opposed to The Secret History, where I literally couldn't tell anyone apart. And there were only like, I think 5 or 6 characters in that, and there are 7 in this, and I can always tell them apart just because they have distinction, and they're very different from each other, and I like that. I think that's good. I think that's important in stories, especially when there are so many characters. I like the writing. I find it not too pretentious and kind of right up my alley in terms of as I'm transitioning into being like an adult. I feel like this is the type of writing that I like reading. It's not too childish, but it's not so pretentious that you just kind of want to like claw your eyes out when you're reading it. The only like situation I had is that there was one section so far where our main character, like, he was just like sneezing all the time, and it's just like, it's weird, but they have, the way it's written is that it has whoever's speaking colon, whoever's speaking colon, whoever's speaking colon, like when there's conversations, because there are a lot of them. But when they just be speaking, he would just sneeze. And it's just like, there's absolutely no reason for it, as of now, like, there's no reason. So, I don't know why that's a situation, to be honest. I don't know. I just don't know. So that's the only real thing I've noticed that I haven't really vibed with, but I'm really liking it. I can't wait to finish it. I enjoy it, and I'm very surprised. I mean, it could go downhill because I did like The Secret History at least partially at first, and I think even 25% of the way through, I was, you know, still like at least semi into it, but I would definitely say this vlog is more of a success than I was anticipating so far. So I'm looking forward to continuing. I will update you 50% of the way through, and yeah, bye. So I just wanted to kind of do a brief little conclusion here. Oh, hello. I have finished If We Were Villains, and I was very surprised by this, and I will tell you why. So this was very, very, very reminiscent to The Secret History. Like, the parallels were unmatched. Like, there were so many similarities. I mean, there was a small group of students, there was a, you know, very prestigious school, there was a murder of one of the group of students, there was there's a whole bunch of stuff, really. A lot of substance abuse. Like, it was so very similar, but so drastically different in my approach and the way that I read it. And maybe it was the fact that I went in with expectations that were a lot lower this time, but I actually did find myself enjoying this. I think I gave it like a 4.5. I haven't fully decided yet, but I really did enjoy this. I liked it a lot. I think The Secret History might have just been a one-off for me. I might actually enjoy reading Dark Academia. So I feel incredible about that. And yeah, I had so few expectations for this book. I'm very happy to say that they were all met and exceeded, and I feel really happy with the progress I made, and I'm looking forward to reading more Dark Academia now because apparently it's a thing I like. What the heck? So that's super exciting. But for now, I am just planning on finishing and probably filming my intro and conclusion for this actual vlog situation and doing some work today. But thank you so much for joining into this crazy journey of mine. But yeah, please stay tuned for my final wrap up soon. Bye. Alrighty, so you have made it the entire way through this very interesting vlog where I chose books based on what Amazon recommended for my least favorite book of all time. With that being said, this went way different than I expected. Holy crap. I really, really enjoyed my time reading both the Atlas 6 and If We Were Villains. I wouldn't necessarily say that I liked A Little Life. I did DNF it, but I just did not feel like I was in the right headspace for it, and I couldn't put myself through that just for content. So I will go over a little bit about each story. I essentially really liked both of them. Like, it's hard to pick. I usually like least favorite to favorite. Obviously, my least favorite was A Little Life. I did find it to be quite boring, and I don't know. There was just something about the writing that I wasn't a big fan of, and that could have just come from the headspace I was in. Probably not the best time for it. However, I really liked both If We Were Villains and the Atlas 6. And I don't know which one I liked more. And that's what's tricky for me, is that I don't know which one I liked better. I mean, the Atlas 6 was very different, however very similar. They both had very extreme parallels to The Secret History. Like, they both had a very elite group of students. They both had these like specialty schools or specialty programs within schools. They both involved competition, not even necessarily competition, but like competing with amongst one another for like better roles and stuff like that. So overall, I feel like they were both pretty similar. I think I settled on a 4-star for the Atlas 6 out of 5, which is really good. But I think there were just a few things that clicked for me less than I was hoping. Like the magic system and the understanding of powers and the elemental magic really confused me a lot, to be perfectly honest. And some of the characters were just kind of like know-it-all-y and weird. However, the ending was insane. I cannot wait for the second book, and I'm just like, I'm obsessed with the idea of the competition element and like fighting for their place in this elite society. So I really liked that aspect of it. In terms of if we were villains, this one is a little fresher in my head. I believe I settled on a 4 or a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think it was a 4 though, although it's a little bit higher up than the Atlas 6, I think. Just because, and this is gonna be shocking to most people, but the Shakespearean aspect of it really enhanced the story. And I have hated, or at least not hated necessarily, but I have disliked every single book I have read that is revolving around a Shakespeare story. Like, I hate the reenactments. I hate the retellings of Shakespeare. I always have. The Shakespeare elements worked. Like, this book would not have worked without it. And I just loved that about it, I think. And the characters, I felt like their dynamic, they were just so all over the place. And I liked that about it. I was rooting for them, and then I was like, what the heck? And then I was rooting for them again, and XYZ. Like, it was great. It was really good. There were just some like random moments here and there where I wasn't the biggest fan. Like, he was sneezing like a weird amount of time, like the main character. He just like would not stop sneezing. It was really bizarre. Like, and they mentioned it for the first like third of the book, and then he just like wouldn't sneeze anymore. And I was like, what is happening? But overall, like, really decent story. I could not have expected this to go any better, to be honest. I was anticipating 1s and 2s and even like a high 3, but I have 2 4s and a DNF, which is pretty good. So I will take that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. I do post very sporadically whenever I feel like I can, and I'm really looking forward to getting this edited and getting it up for you guys because I've had a lot of fun with it. So let me know if you've read any of these books or what your feelings and thoughts on them were, or let me know what you'd like to see next. And until next time, bye readers! You had a bad day. Take you